Om Jnanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Gurave Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Stadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha Narayanam Gurum Vande Sharanyam Bhakta Bandhavam Gauramanubhistam Purnam Radhadasyam Pradayakam Nirupandugacharya Varyam Gurupamanjari Preshtakam Patita Pavana Karunyam Yugacharya Narayanam Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namni Gaura Tuise Namaha Shama Sundara Shikanda Shekara Ismera Hasar Murali Manohara Radhikara Sikamam Kripanide Swapriya Charana Kinkarim Puru Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindai Tulasi Devi Ai Priyai Keshava Sacha Krishna Bhakti Prade Devi Satyavatyai Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramu 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 Hare Hare. So first of all I begin offering my most humble obeisances the dust of the lotus feet of Paramadattama Sri Guru Pada Padma, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Paramahamsa Parivrajacharya, Ashtotara Sata Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Goswami Maharaj Srila Gurudeva, and to my most worshipable Shiksha and Sannyasa Guru, Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Pada Ashtotara Sata Srimad Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj, and to all Shri Rupanur Gauriya Guru Varga, all Tridanji Sannyasis, Brahmacharis, Vaishnavas, Vaishnavis, and to all the assembled devotees here today, my most respectful obeisances. By the causeless mercy of Srila Gurudeva and all Mahabhagavatas Acharyas, we are able to assemble here one more time. Now the verse 27. Shravana darsana dhyanam mai bhavo nukirtanat natata sanikarshena pratyatta tato griham. Krishna is saying, ecstatic love for me arises in the devotees' hearts when they hear about me, when they take the darshan of my deity, when they meditate on my beauty and continuously chant my names. And my names are endowed with all my attributes. But to be in my presence, my physical presence, does not give the same result. So therefore you should return back to your homes. So here what Krishna says is that his name, his deity, his meditation is superior even to be physically present with him. Now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Toshani. The first is the meaning in the mood of indifference. So Krishna said, these gopis, they would not go back, even after so many endeavors to convince them. So, suspecting like this, Krishna, he displayed indifference in this verse, beginning with the word Shravanat. What Krishna wants to say is that the passion the gopis feel for him is not so perfected as if they would like to hear, remember, or meditate upon him. Now, Krishna, he did not say, he thought. He showed that the gopis' passion for him is limited because they wanted his physical presence, not to meditate or to hear about his glories. So now Krishna says, by receiving my direct association, it does not give the same mood as if you are hearing my glories. So the anxiety produced in the state of separation causes the sentiment of the gopis to escalate very quickly. But in the union, the mood will lose the intensity and become very weak. But actually, the mood of the Braja Gopis were like the topmost level. But by Krishna's crooked talk, he rejected their mood by saying this is not proper. In Purvarag, first hearing, then seeing the hero. But because they are not able to meet with him, then so many flashes of the hero comes in the heart of the heroine. So this is the process of awakening bhava through hearing and chanting. Actually, Krishna, he spoke in a very tricky manner to enhance the eagerness in the prema of the gopis. And gopis were always absorbed in a very deep love for him. Now the meaning in a humble way. So the gopis are saying that before marrying the cowherd husbands, we accepted you as our true husband because we have so much attraction and faith for you. Even though we never lived with you, now we are married to the gopas, but we feel no loyalty to them, and we have accepted this relationship only by the bond of marriage. So how can we feel affection for them? So anticipating this mood of the gopis, Krishna spoke this verse beginning with Shravanat. So Krishna is saying that the bhava that arises when one hears narrations about me, which has some special rasa, is more intense than the bhava that grows in my direct presence. So now the conclusion is that actually it is well known that the couples, when they love each other, they stay together, and that emotions will not develop only by hearing. They have to be together. But the gopis, they never experience any type of intimacy with their so-called husbands, even though they live together. So in this way, Krishna actually, he wants to say, don't go home and leave me alone here. Krishna is saying, don't go back home. In this way, he is pushing the gopis to stay there with him, despite of some rules being broken by the Paramur love. So in this way, by some grammatical adjustments, the same sentence that Krishna speaks can be understood in both ways, in a humble way, also in an indifferent way. So some of the Braja gopis, they heard in the indifferent way. And other gopis whose heart has more anurag, they heard as a humble way. So now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sharata Darshini. So the first is the meaning in a mood of indifference. So the gopis, they might say to Krishna, "Oh Krishna, we have not come here for your direct association. So why do you think this is possible?" Gargacharya declared that you are like Narayana, and we accept what he said. So therefore, we have come here with a desire to perform bhakti at your lotus feet. You should therefore keep us here tonight with you and mercifully fulfill our heart desire. We want to worship your lotus feet and serve them. So Krishna, he's saying, love for me actually can be achieved by hearing about me, by seeing and remembering me, and singing my glories. You cannot get prema by directly associating with me. My pure devotees, they do not desire the 4 kinds of liberation, but rather they always pray for bhakti, beginning with Shravana, Kirtana, etc. So all of you are like Vaishnavis, so you are certainly aware of this very important truth. Now the meaning in a humble mood. So Krishna says actually that this bhava for me is stimulated by being very close associated with me. Shravana and Kirtana cannot give the same result. Therefore, all of you should not go back to Braj. In this way, this is the end of the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Now the verse 28. Shri Shuka Vacha iti vipryam akarnya gopyo govinda vashitam vishanabhagna sankalpas chintam apurduratyayam. Shukadeva Goswami said, hearing Krishna speak such unpleasant words, the gopis became extremely dejected and fall into a very deep ocean of despair. Now the commentary of Srila Jiva Goswami Pada Vaishnava Toshani. Shukadeva Goswami explains the meaning of the name Govinda. This name suggests that Krishna is Indra, the chief of Gokula and the well-wisher of all residents. So, and because he takes care of his people, he certainly will also look after the happiness and comfort of the gopis. But what Krishna is saying to the gopis is very unpleasant. But all his sentences have always a double meaning. So it was not clear if Krishna's words were actually favorable or unfavorable. But the unfavorable meaning manifested in on the gopis' hearts because of their natural eagerness to be with Krishna. Therefore, the gopis, they became broken-hearted. So for a long time, they were planning to have an intimate association with Krishna. But because Krishna is sending them back, now their hearts became like flame, burning like fire. So the gopis, they were actually forced to feel a very, very unpalatable situation. They became devastated, full of anxiety. Krishna's heart is very soft, and it used to melt with love. But now it has become very cruel. So the gopis are saying, what is our duty? Should we catch his lotus feet and pray to him, or should we argue with him and somehow or other try to defeat his words? Should we practice some patience and stay here, or should we just pretend that we are going back to Braja, and after some distance we also try again to check his real intention? Or should we give up our lives, but we don't know how and where? Should we do it in front of him or behind him? Should we jump in the Jamuna or die in some other way? So in any way, we should give up our lives. So like this, the gopis, they were considering what to do after hearing Krishna's words. Now the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, Sarartha Darshini. The meaning of the word Govinda is Ga plus Vindate. Ga means who is very entertaining speaker. And Vindate means who knows. So in other words, Govinda is the one who is very expert in speaking. But here, the words spoken by Krishna is very unpleasant. Even the presiding goddess of speech could not understand the meaning of his crooked words. But it was not so difficult for the gopis to understand the inner meaning of his words. However, only the external meaning of the words were manifested in the gopis' heart. The external meaning is that Krishna was not interested in meeting with them. But because the heart of the gopis were full with prema, they begin to burn. In this way, not understanding any reason why Krishna speaks like that, they begin to doubt his words and somehow or other feel more comfortable. So after this, some humility manifested in the heart of the gopis out of their isthai bhav. So therefore the gopis said, certainly we are unqualified for the service of Krishna. And therefore he is neglecting us. In this way they became very morose and they begin to contemplate their situation. So the gopis say, we gave up our husbands, our father-in-law, parents, religiosity, patience, fear and shyness for Krishna, but he rejected us. So in this way their plan was destroyed and they begin to feel so much distress. What should we do now? Should we hold his lotus feet and try to satisfy him with humble prayers? Or should we exercise some self-control and just start returning to Braja? Or should we give up our lives in front of him or in the Jamuna or by any other means? Alas, what a predicament we are facing. How will we be able to see Krishna's sweet lotus face if we give up our lives? But if we do not do like so, how can we still manage to be near him? So in this way, the gopis were tortured. They were being beaten by millions and millions of waves of anxiety. And they also thought, how can we follow Krishna's order and convince ourselves to eat what we have already vomited? So what the gopis vomited? The service to their husbands and relatives. So how they can go back and accept that again? In this way, the gopis are thinking, what should we do? Where should we go? So in this way, filled with so much worries, the gopis, they were completely lost. And they remained just standing in the same position like sticks. It is said that Krishna is like a very dark cloud. And the sound of his flute is like the thunderbolt. And that sound is inviting the Chataki bird, like the gopis, to come and drink the nectar from the cloud. But actually, instead of showering rain of nectar, this cloud was actually showering poison of neglecting the gopis. The words of Krishna neglecting the gopis were like poison. And the gopis, they drink that. So, because as the Chataki bird, the gopis cannot give up their nature. So they have to drink whatever the rain will give. So in this way, the gopis, they were just standing. They could not find any solution for their dilemma. So this is the end of the commentary of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyeva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavibhyo. Hare Krishna.